Hi, this is Amy. Happy FORMSgiving. Today we're going to learn about Google Forms, including basic form creation, conditional formatting, automatic grading with Flubaroo, and the extension or app or whatever we're going to call it, Forms Plus, that works through Google Forms and adds additional features. So let's start today with some form basics. We're going to learn how to create a form. You may already know how to do this and need to fast forward, but if you don't, then I'd like to show you. We're going to go to our Google Drive, and if you work for Huntsville ISD, then you can start off in your Gmail account, and you'll use this little apps button right up here in the top right is where that's located now, and you can go to Google Drive, or you can use this apps button. So let me show you what that one looks like. This apps button in the top left may also give you a Google Drive icon, and if it doesn't, then you can add that through the web store, or you can type in drive.google.com. So any way you get there, you're going to need to navigate to Google Drive first to get started with this process. All right, so any way you want to get there, we're going to Google Drive. So you can see that I'm inside a folder. You don't need to be inside a folder, but it's good to know that you can create folders and you can store all kinds of things in there. But wherever you are in Google Drive, we want to click the red button that says Create, and we want to choose Form. So this is letting me know that since I'm inside a folder, it has permissions set. It's going to inherit the permissions of the folder, and that's fine with me. So I'm going to click Create Form, and now this title box right here is really important. I cannot tell you how many times I forget to fill this in and wish later on that I had filled it in. So let's fill in the title box and let's call it Sample Form. And now we have a chooser of sorts, so we can pick what we want our form to look like. So I'm going to choose header gray. You look through there and look at those and choose one that you like. The question would come up if we were in a face-to-face room: can you make your own form themes? The answer is no, you cannot, or at least I don't know how to do that. What you can do though is pick a simple theme and embed it into a Google Sites page, and then you can make the outside of it look however you want. Okay, so I'm going to choose header gray and click OK. You come along with me when you get ready. You can see the name I chose for my form transferred over here and right up here. So that's a good move to set the name of it there. Now let's take a look at this form from the very top. We have some form settings. Do we want to require Huntsville ISD login to view the form? Well, I'm going to say no on this one. This means my form will be accessible by people outside my school district, and I want to do that. But you might want to create one where people have to sign in, and if you do, then you'll want to check these two boxes. For example, if you're going to use this as a quiz in your classroom, you're going to want to check these two boxes. Have your students log in, especially if you're a secondary teacher, so that you can collect that information from them automatically. I'm going to uncheck these boxes. Now, I'm going to take you through the form that I made for this course, and we're going to go through that one step by step and look and see how those questions were made. All right, so here's the form for this class, and I want to just take you through and show you each question type and then talk to you a little bit about why I made the decisions I did. The first question you can see is a fill in the blank, and it's required. So in this form, I'm not going to ask for people's stuff to be automatically collected. Therefore, I'm going to ask them their last name and their first name. What I did when I made this is I put in student last name. I hit this button right here, which is the duplicate question, and then I came down here and I changed last to first. So it saved me a little bit of typing, a little bit of work, and I want both those questions to be required, so I'll click Done. Now, I'm going to ask for students' email addresses, and if you want to, you can fill out this form too and put your email address in there, and then when this is run the next time, when someone uses this form the next time, then you'll be able to get your responses from the Flubaroo grading we're going to do in just a minute. So put your correct email address in there if you want that. All right, so now I have a question. Sorry, I know it's kind of gross, but and you can see I've attributed this question to Snopes.com. That's a website where you go if you want to find out that if that email thing you got is really true. Like, somebody sends you this scary email, don't cook things in saran wrap, it causes cancer or whatever. You can go to Snopes.com and you can see if that rumor is true or false. So I've asked you a question there about it, and then you can see there's a picture below. So let's edit this question type so you can look at the image. I'm going to actually add in a new question so that you can see how I made that. So I'm going to choose add item down here, and what I would choose if I want to do a picture is image from this list right down there. So when I do that, it's going to give me a chance to upload a picture or find the URL of an image. Let me show you how I would do that. So let's say I want to look for an image of an apple. So I can type that into my search bar, my Omni box up at the top. I can go to images. I can pick a picture of an apple. Let me use this one right here. I like this apple. And then I can get the URL from that image. So I'm actually going to go to view image so I can see it, see the URL for it. I'm going to copy it. That's a right click and a copy. And then I'm going to go back over to my form and I'm going to choose by URL, paste the URL into the box, and hopefully if everything goes well, we'll see our apple appear there. There we go, and hit select. So when I do that, I'm going to have a new section in my form in just a minute. As soon as it loads, there it is, and it's going to have a picture of the apple. So I can give it a title and some hover text. That hover text helps people who are visually impaired. They can hover over it and the computer will read it to them. So I might say big, red, juicy apple to help visually impaired people, and then I can give the image a title. Apple from, I think it was from Wikipedia. And I can add that question in by clicking done. Actually, it's not a question, it's just a picture, but you get the point. So I'm going to delete that because you know how to add that in now. You know how I got this picture here. Now, this question is a true false. Let's take a look at it. It's multiple choice, but it only has two answers, true and false. And then this is a multiple choice test with multiple answers, 3 different answers. And then here's a question where I've asked people to type a simple word. So I want them to type one word that gives the answer, and when we do our automatic grading later on, then you'll be able to do that. So now I'd like you to actually take this quiz. So please take the quiz, and I'll show you the URL link to that. Hold on just a second. All right, so will you please navigate now in a new window and take the quiz. You'll want to open up a new tab in your browser. I'm hovering up here to show you the new tab. And take the quiz. You're going to go to bit.ly/Happy FORMSgiving. Happy FORMSgiving is going to let you take the quiz, or you can scan it on your smartphone using a QR code reader, and you can take it using this link right here. So pause this video and then come back after you've taken the quiz. All right, so as you can see, this form has a different look when you take the quiz than when you're editing it. Did you notice that just now? So this is my form builder. Let's think about this as face 1 of the form. So this form is going to have 3 faces. The first face, only you are ever going to see. You're going to build the form in the form builder. When you get ready to share that with someone else, like I just shared that form with you and let you take it, you're going to use a couple of different methods to get that URL. One method you can use is to click the link that says View Live Form. When I do that, you're going to see the version of the form, Face 2, that you saw just now when you took that quiz. Let's go back and let me show you another way to get to Face 2. Another way is to use the blue button in the top right that says Send Form. When you choose Send Form, you can choose to email this to people right here. So if you want to send it to your whole campus, for example, then you have a campus mail list that you can send this to. And then you also have a link right up here that you can copy. You can copy that, put it into an email and send it, or you can copy that and put it on your web page. So that's a neat technique. Let's say you have a classroom sign-up form for something. You could put that right on your web page and have parents click that link and sign up for things to bring to the classroom, for example, for a holiday party. All right, so a lot of different ways to distribute that, but let me be clear. This is not the link you give out. This is not what you share. You either go to View Live Form and share this URL right up here. That's the one you want to copy. Or you can use the Send form and send it to people right down here. You can type in email addresses. All right, so hopefully you know how to send a form and you have now taken the quiz that I gave you. want to give you one more little piece of information about sharing a form link. Something that happens to me a lot is I'm actually in a staff development session with people and I need them to type in the link to the form right then and take the quiz, kind of like you did just now with that bit.ly Happy FORMSgiving link. Well, I want to show you how to do that really quickly. It's a neat little add-on to forms that can sometimes make your life easier. If you're a teacher in a classroom and you don't have your students in a mail group, this is a great technique for you. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm at my phase 2 of my form. Phase 1 is the editable version. Phase 2 is the version that people take online. Now I've already added this little app, this bit.ly app, to my Chrome. If you haven't added that yet, then this is how you do that. You go into apps and the store and you want to look for bit.ly, bit.ly. And you want to look under extensions. So here it is. It's a pufferfish in a blue background is what you're looking for. This is the app you want to add. Now I have to tell you, it's kind of confusing to sign up with an email address. So I'm going to show you really quickly how to do that. So what you want to do is you want to go to bit.ly.com, and this is where you can sign up for an account using your email address as opposed to signing in with Facebook or Twitter. So you need to sign up for an account and sign into it first in order for it to work like I'm about to show you. So when I go to my phase 2, the phase that I want the public to see, then I'm going to click my little bit.ly fish up there and I'm going to allow the extension. Look, see, even I had to sign in because it apparently signed me out since last time I used it. So I'm going to sign in with my email address that I used to sign up for it and my password, and I'll allow this extension. So you're going to have to do that too, important to know, but you don't have to do that often. So let me try that again. I'm back at phase 2 of my form. I'm going to click my pufferfish, and now I'm able to have a shortened link. Now you can see what I did. I clicked the little edit button there and I changed the bit.ly. It's going to give me a random one. Let me show you what it does here at a different website. Let me try to show you what it does just at like cnn.com, for example. So if I click my bit.ly fish here, then it's going to give me, when I do save bitmark, a random series of letters and numbers. But let's say I want to shorten that into something that I can control. Then I can say HISDCNN. Notice how that's capital LINK. I do have to do something unique. But now if you go to bit.ly/capital HISD capital CNN lowercase link, you would get to CNN. Well, the benefit of that is that if you have a really long URL like this one up here at the top, no one can type that in. Your students cannot type that in. You wouldn't even want to try to do that. So instead of going and editing your web page and adding that link, you can shorten the link, give it to your students, tell them type this in, take the quiz, and they can do that without you having to put them in an email group or anything else. So we've worked through how to create a form, how to send the form to people. Now let's go back and look at what to do with the responses. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build phase 3 of the form. Now this is phase 2, this is phase 1, and phase 1 is what we want to go back to, our form builder. So your little button right here may be different. I've already clicked something that makes view responses show up. So you're going to choose response destination if that's what yours says. So either way, you're going to get your responses into a new spreadsheet. That's what's important, getting to the new spreadsheet. So I'm going to go to some form responses that are already filled in so that you can see what this looks like. So this is a spreadsheet that Google Forms is going to make, and this is going to be phase 3 of our Google form. Phase 1 is our builder. Phase 2 is the phase that the public sees when they take the form, and phase 3 is the spreadsheet that has the responses in it. All right, so what I did before I ever started this, before I ever put it out there, is I took the quiz myself and I put in all the answers correct. So this is going to be my key, and you notice it's the first response. Now, it's okay if you forget to do that because you can always go back and take it later. But I wanted you to see that's kind of best practice. So if you think of it to do it, then you take it first. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some conditional formatting on this spreadsheet. So let's sort of disaggregate this by looking at every time somebody put in the word false. We're going to kind of do a visual on our spreadsheet. So I just selected the whole entire spreadsheet by clicking the top left cell. So this special cell up here above 1 and to the left of A makes everything on my spreadsheet selected. So I'm going to start off like that because I want to perform conditional formatting on my whole spreadsheet. Now I'm going to go into Format and Conditional Formatting, and I'm going to do text contains false. That's actually the correct answer to the question, what word does Snopes.com use to describe a claim that has been proved invalid? They use the word false. I'm going to change the background of that cell to red and the text to white. And that's going to show me anytime somebody put in the correct answer. Let me do green. That's kind of confusing, isn't it? So green and white. So now I'll save the rule, and hopefully if I did it correctly, every time somebody put in false, then that is going to highlight green. Now, I kind of messed up though, because this column actually is true. So let's go back and fix that. I'm going to go back to my conditional formatting again. I'm going to delete this rule and save for this column. Now the rule is only applied to column H, which is where everybody who put in the correct answer has got that marked here. So I can see. I have some reteaching to do if I'm a teacher, don't I? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grade this whole form. So I kind of use the conditional formatting to just get a visual on what's going on here, but now I really want to get a grade for each one of my students automatically. So what I'm going to do is choose Insert Script from my form options at the top. Insert Script, Spreadsheet options, sorry about that. And now I'm going to look for Flubaroo. And I'm going to install it into my form. Now when you do this, you're going to get some needs to accept some rules and all that kind of stuff. And you'll need to go through that if you want to use Flubaroo. You'll need to authorize the application. So I'm going to authorize it on my spreadsheet while you authorize it on yours. And then I'll close, and you'll see the word Flubaroo appear up here in the options for the spreadsheet. And now I'm going to choose Grade Assignment. And let's look at what Flubaroo gives us. So this is going to replace my existing grades because I've already graded it once, so I'll say yes, that's okay with me. Now let's look at what Flubaroo asks us. It wants to know, does this first question, student last name, identify the student? Yes, it does. So does username, and so does student first name. So here are my questions. And all of these questions are going to be counted 1 point. And then the email address is also an identifier. So you might notice that the questions on my spreadsheet are not in the same order that they are on my form. But that's okay. What you need to know is that you never change the order of columns in the spreadsheet. You just accept what Google does for you, because if you start taking column C and moving it over because you're not using that, you'll actually break the connection between the spreadsheet and the form, and you don't want to do that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click continue. All of those are correct so far. All right, so now Flubaroo needs to know which submission should be the answer key. Well, on this particular occasion, unlike many others, I actually remembered to take my quiz first. So for me, it's going to be the very first response. For you, it might be later on. No big deal. Just choose your own responses as the key so that you can pick what the right answers are. We'll click continue. So Flubaroo lets us know we need to wait while the assignment's graded. And now that we're finished, we can actually view the grades. So let's take a look at what Flubaroo did to our information. I'm going to move that over so that I'm not publishing everybody's email addresses online. So now we've got our students' names, their email addresses, the total points that they earned, the grade that they made, the number of times that they submitted it, and whether their grade has been emailed to them. So here are the answers that they put. We just have a ton of data here. It's pretty cool, isn't it? We even know the average that people made and how many points were possible. And you can see if I'm a teacher of real information, I definitely need to reteach this. Now, let's look at how to send our students their grades. You can see that these grades have already been emailed, everybody with an X in that column. But I do have 3 people who have submitted who could be emailed. This one's not going to be able to be emailed because this person didn't choose to add an email address, which is fine. So let's go ahead and choose Flubaroo email grades, and we'll go ahead and email those couple of people who have not been emailed already. So let's include the list of questions and scores, the answer key, and then thanks for taking our quiz. And let's click continue, and then we'll look at what's going to happen on the other side. So once the person receives the email, this is what it looks like to them. My grade is 2 out of 2. And on this particular assignment, this may not be the one that we just did. Yeah, it's not, but I want you to see what it looks like anyway. So I ask, have you enjoyed this training today? Wow, it was amazing. That's the correct answer. And so I get all of this information sent right to my email address, and you can imagine how powerful that can be for students as a formative assessment tool. So the last thing that I want to show you today is this new tool called Form Plus. So I'm pretty excited about this because what it allows you to do is a few extra things with forms that you cannot do strictly with your Google account. So I'm going to go to it and log in, and let's just take a minute to look at it so that you can see what sort of extra features this adds in case you ever want to use this yourself. Once again, with this tool, you will have to accept that you're sharing some information with this third-party company, so please read that and take that into account and see if you're willing to do that. So this is an option that is kind of exciting to me. If you wanted to have students, for example, maybe you work in a school district where Google Drive is not set up for all your students, or maybe you just don't want to use that option and you want to have your students make some sort of a project. You can actually create a form with a file upload button and have students add in. Let's say your students were going to take a picture that represented something. Maybe they're early elementary school. You want to put this form on your website and have them upload their picture to the form. Well, you would be able to do it right here. So that's definitely an added-in feature. There are also some form templates here that might give you some ideas. If you have Google Drive, that file upload might not be that useful because you can just have people share it with you in Google Drive, which makes a lot more sense. But Form Plus is a different way to look at forms and may add some more options in for you. So if you're a Huntsville ISD employee and you want to get credit for watching this video and learning about Google Forms, then this is how you'll do that. You'll log into eduphoria for Huntsville ISD using your username and password that you usually use, and you'll go into Workshop. You'll look for eCourses, and I'm going to use this course right here as an example. You will look for the course that you just took. So I'm going to enter into this course. I'll register for it. Now I'm going to watch the video, which you have already done. When I go to the Course Content tab at the top, I'll see View on a quiz. I'm going to answer the questions on the quiz and then click Score Assessment in the bottom right-hand corner. So I've answered the questions and I'll choose Score Assessment, and let's hope that I scored a 70 or above so that I can pass and get credit. Now I'm going to choose the blue arrow in the top right to see if I earned credit or not. Oh, see, this is the part where it gets confusing, isn't it? So I'm at the end of the chapter. I have to close this box, go back to eduphoria. Now that I have finished the course, I answered the questions, I watched the video, all that kind of stuff, and I know this is really confusing, so I'm glad you're watching this. I'm going to click Request Credit. And then I'm going to get my information. Credit has been earned. So that's great. I did what I need to do. Now I can create my certificate right up here if I want to do that. It just downloaded to my browser as a PDF, which I see down here at the bottom. And I actually took this course as Matthew. Don't tell him. And there it is. So hopefully that's easy once you know to go back to the course and request credit. With this particular course that you've just taken, Happy FORMSgiving, you're going to be able to retake that if you don't meet the minimum score, which is 70%. I hope that helps and you learned something new, and have a great day.